Watching the 2025 SCAC Baseball Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Texas Lutheran University baseball program. The Bulldogs will once again be led as they head into the season with the guidance of head coach Kyle Palmer, along with leadership from senior Diego Vinton and R.J. Carrillo. And Coach R.J., thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Russell.
Coach, we'll get started with you heading into year two, coming off of your first season as the head coach, returning back to Seguin to take over your program there at TLU. What is the biggest thing that you learned over the course of last season, going through that first season back, and how excited to be back here for year two and the start of a new season with this group?
Oh, I'm thrilled to be back. One of the big things I think that I took away from last year and really going into this year is you don't have to coach expectancy here as far as expectancy to succeed, expectancy to win. These guys just bring that to the table, whether it be at practice, whether it be at the game, whether it be just in their everyday life. They're always looking for ways to find a way to win. And so as I learned that and tried to really just focus on being the bumpers alongside the road and guiding those guys to the path of what that looks like, I think that I got a lot more comfortable with our personnel. They got a lot more comfortable with me. I was able to get out of the way a little bit and just free them up to be able to play the way they know how to play and the way they were recruited to play.
Diego, coach talks about that comfort level and kind of finding your stride. And this team came on with ferocity, in that second half of the season, winning 14 of your final 21 games, making a push all the way to the SCAC tournament championship. How did the way in which this season closed kind of give this group a bump heading into the season? What did you learn about, this team going through last year, and how excited are you to be back for your senior year?
I'm actually really excited for my last year, and I think the seniors last year really set a high standard, and they kind of led us seniors now and what to do and kind of the game plan on how to have that success. And I think going towards the back end of the season was a very strong and very eye-opening of how we could do that and that we could actually do that, whereas the first half of the season was kind of rough. And I think going into this year, we can take that success we had towards the end of the last year, kind of that grit of that championship game, and take it into this next season.
RJ, you're coming off of an outstanding junior campaign, really stepping into a new role within this group. You look at your numbers, career highs really across the board, just in terms of games played, at-bats, runs, hits, RBIs, doubles, all up career highs over the course of last season. How did going through that year help boost your confidence as a player individually, and how excited to be back here for the start of this senior year and competing for one of those everyday roles within this lineup going into the year?
Yes, sir. It really boosted my confidence. I mean, going into this year, just wanting to keep playing ball, keep playing like at the high level I was at. And I really, like he just said, like the seniors last year really paved the way for us, and following their footsteps would put me where I am today. And they just set the standard for us, a really high standard. So I'm just always trying to work at that goal.
Coach, you talked about that comfort level and finding kind of your stride as the season went on. Now heading into year two, tell us a little bit about this 2025 version of this Bulldogs team. What have you learned about this new team? What are some of the things that you're excited about that you want, fans and supporters of this program to know, to be excited about as you get prepared for the start of this new season?
Yeah, for being a new year, there's a lot of similarities to last year. We lost a lot of production, both on the mound and at the plate. I think the exciting piece of that is there's lots of opportunity, and we talked about that last year a little bit this time. Guys that didn't get a chance to be everyday guys are going to get that chance, and the window's there, the door's there for them to walk through. They just got to take on that responsibility. And this year is the same. I think we've got a really, really talented freshman class that is pushing some of these guys that have been here for a while to be their best every single day. And so I think the exciting piece for me is, once again, I get a chance to try to figure out how all the pieces work together. Hopefully I'm a little bit faster at it this year than last year. But I think, the fans are going to see a lot of new faces out there, but also a lot of their favorite faces out there just doing what they can to just lead us down the road to success.
Diego, coming into this your senior year, you've talked about your excitement coming into this new process, new journey for this season. Coming off of battling through some injury, working your way back through that, kind of take me through that process. Where are you at right now? How is kind of battling through that injury? What have you learned about yourself, about being a college, student athlete, how has that process unfolded? Kind of where you at, and what are you looking forward to most to getting back with the team once you've cleared that injury hurdle?
Yeah, I've learned a lot that there's a lot of mentalness that goes into it, and that it all leads up to your mindset into going it. And I think I've also learned during out this journey just to take it one day at a time, and that this is probably a perfect time to lean on my teammates to be there. That even though I can't do as much maybe, but there's still more to be taught and more to be done. Moving forward, I think I've made a lot of progress. I've probably shocked myself into going into practice this season. I look forward to having a strong recovery and being back real soon.
RJ, we've talked about the success the team had down that back half of the season. As I mentioned, winning 14 of your last 21 games. What did you learn about the team kind of in that second home stretch of the season that this group can apply going into this year to try and kind of maybe replicate some of that late season success early on in this year?
I felt like what I learned and what the team learned really is that we have that fire in us. We can pull it out whenever we need to. And then we all have the same goal in mind, really, just to win. No matter who's on the field, who's in the lineup, who's pitching, like we all just want to win at the end of the day. And we just want to continue that tradition that we've had here at TOU for many, many years and just keep playing the ball we've been playing.
Coach, you've talked in the past about one of the things that you've embraced with this program is the idea of kind of being a players run program and the importance of continuing that dynamic, going into building your foundation, being back at TLU. How has that process, continue to play its way out? What have you learned as far as the importance of chemistry within your staff and these players to kind of cultivating sort of that player run program within, this program here at TLU?
Well, I think you're getting a chance to see it just kind of with the way these questions are answered. A lot of what they're saying is, hey, the senior group before us, the guys around us, they've set the bar, they've set the standard. It's going to be up to us. And I've learned a lot, and probably more than these guys, just how valuable that is. One of the things I've always fought as a coach is trying to get everybody to pull the rope in the same direction. And whenever I'm having to do the cheering, whenever I'm having to do the disciplining, whenever I'm having to do the motivating, it wears on me as a coach, and it makes it really hard to get that same voice in all those aspects. So, one of the things that I'm really excited about this year is guys are not only being encouragers, but they're holding each other accountable. So that gives me the ability to focus more on the game and presenting the game and teaching the game, and allowing these guys to, like RJ said, bring the fire when it's time to bring the fire, lean on your teammates when it's time to lean on your teammates. And so it's been really, really fun to be able to just teach the game. And like I said earlier, be that bumper alongside the road and try to guide them in the right direction whenever the time is called.
And probably as we wrap up with our two student athletes, Diego and RJ, when you've had conversations with some of the other, leaders and teammates within your clubhouse, Diego obviously kind of in that pitching staff, and RJ with the everyday lineup guys, about some of the goals and expectations coming into this year. What have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you both see as being key in order to accomplishing those heading into the season?
Yeah, like Coach Palmer said, we lost a lot of production when it comes to the mound. But a good thing when it comes to the mound is a lot of those younger guys kind of watched and took notes when you think they wouldn't take notes. And perfect example was Brendan Beard. For all of us, that was kind of a huge role model. And as we move forward and with this young staff and a lot of freshmen, I think all we need to do is just to buy into the execution we need to do and buy into the game plan, which, as we can see, we did that towards the back in the half, and we had a lot of success. As far as we're going to have a lot of guys who need to step up, but I think they're ready to do it.
And just picking off what Diego said, like guys are taking notes. A lot of non-starters paid attention to the guys who are playing every day. And everyone knows the conference we're in is a big hitting conference. A lot of runs are scored, a lot of hits. So we talk about every day, we got to outscore people. We got to hit the ball. We got to give our pitchers opportunity to win games for us. So make their job easier, really.
Finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, heading into year two, what's the next step as as we've talked about building this foundation? What do you hope to see here in this second season, coming off of an outstanding opening campaign last year, the way the season ended, the excitement that you can hear in your two student athletes' voices? For you, what is that next step this program needs to take heading into year two in order for it to look successful once again?
Yeah, I think for us, the next step is really just having a full season of playing at our best. I think And I was really, really excited for the guys last year that we were playing our best baseball when the time came to play your best baseball. And I think that's always a big key. But we need to be ready to go from the get-go. And that's really on me to make sure these guys are prepared early and that we have the right pieces in place. But I think, we'll let the wins take care of themselves. We'll let the championships take care of themselves. As you know, this league got a lot bigger, and it got a lot bigger with a lot better teams coming in. And so the bar is even higher this year, and you can't go into last year and try to make up ground there at the end and hope that you squeak your way in. I think every game of every series is going to matter even more this year, with only 4 teams making it to the postseason and having 11 teams total in the conference. And so we're going to look just to try to be prepared for that game 1 against UMHB to start out our season, and then we start with the defending champions, conference tournament champions, sitting there at their place, which is always really tough. And so we got to be ready to go from the get-go.
Texas Lutheran University head baseball coach Kyle Palmer, along with leadership from seniors Diego Vinton and R.J. Carrillo. Again, the Bulldogs and Coach Palmer will open up the 2025 campaign on February 11th when they take on UMHB at home. Coach, Diego, R.J., thanks again so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.